Hey everyone, and welcome back to Voice After 50, the space where we talk honestly, gently, and sometimes with a bit of laughter about the real experiences of life after 50. I'm your host, Beverley. Before I dive into today's topic, I just wanted to say, if you've been with me since season 1, you might remember episode 3, Where Are All My People At? Finding Connection After 50, where I talked about friendships after 50. How the dynamics can shift and change, and how the whole friendship landscape can feel very difficult to navigate and different from what it used to be, and how challenging it can feel sometimes to make new friends. Well, today I'm revisiting that conversation, but from a slightly different angle. Not because it was on the schedule, but because something happened today that genuinely took me aback. I was shook. And as you get to know me, you'll see that when life taps me on the shoulder with a moment worth unpacking, I'm bringing it here to share with you, and hopefully we can all benefit from it in some way. So let's get into it. If you don't know or haven't figured it out yet, I consider myself to be a sociable person. I love to chat, I like to mingle, I laugh easily, and I enjoy people. I'm often described as an outgoing person, and in many ways I would say that's true. But when it comes to real friendships, not social ships as I call them, not those sort of surface level, we take a cute selfie together but don't actually know each other types of connections, I'm very cautious. Not closed or distant, just careful. I tend to observe people over time. I let trust build slowly, like a slow-cooked stew. And once I consider someone a true friend, I am loyal. I'm the vault. I guard your secrets, I cheer you on, I show up. And I don't expect much in return, just honesty, respect, mutual energy, that sort of thing. So if we become true friends, then yes, I'll share more of myself, we'll laugh, may cry, grow, all that good stuff. But today, wow, today tested me. I received a voice note from someone I considered a friend. Not a brand new friend, but not quite a heritage piece friend either. You know, not the kind of friend who's seen every version of you, but someone you've let into the mid-level circle. So I pressed play, thinking it would be a casual, hey, how you doing? Just checking in. Instead, I received what honestly felt like a performance review of my life, conducted by someone who absolutely does not sit on my life board. Suddenly, I was being told, very confidently and forcefully, what I should be doing with my life, my family, and especially my time. I was even told off for not eating enough vegetables. I kid you not. There were accusations about me not putting myself first. Now, said with care, that could have landed differently, but the tone was wrapped in that passive-aggressive gift paper you can spot a mile away. I was gobsmacked, and then had to jolt myself out of thinking I was a child being told off by an adult. And then came the part that really made me pause. I was told I had ghosted them. What? And the reason? Because I chose to spend time with my daughter instead of them. Are you kidding me? Let me just pause for a minute. Let me just breathe. Okay. Now, here's the part I haven't shared yet. I did respond with a WTF and where's that come from? But then I thought, I'm feeling a little tense because earlier that day I received a quote for a kitchen renovation, and let me tell you, my purse literally screamed from my handbag with the shock of the price. It's a tiny kitchen. So I thought to myself, okay, Beverley, maybe you're just a bit sensitive today, you're disappointed that you can't afford the kitchen you wanted, and maybe your nerves are raw from the shock. Maybe you're hearing this voice note through stressed ears. So I did something I don't always do. I checked in with myself, my initial response, and reflected on how I was feeling. Then I checked in with others. I shared the voice note with a couple of trusted people who know me, who aren't afraid to tell me when I'm overreacting or misreading something. And every single one of them had the same shocked, and some were offended, reaction. Comments included, oh no, that was passive-aggressive. Someone said, that was out of order. Another said, why do they think they get to claim your time? And the comment that actually made me laugh and diffuse some of the tension was the one who said that the voice note was so bad it made them itch. What I gleaned from all these comments and my own reflection was that message wasn't concern. That was control wrapped in concern's clothing. So no, it wasn't the kitchen quote fogging my judgment. The message was exactly what it sounded like. Overstepping, entitled, and a tone policed only enough to pretend it was caring. And that's what led me to this question. What do you do when a friend crosses a line you didn't even know they thought they had authority over? So I looked into this a little bit, looking to see what psychology says about this type of shift, where a friend, now in inverted commas, oversteps boundaries or tries to dictate how you live. The term enmeshment cropped up, which in this context is when some friendships drift into enmeshment, where personal boundaries blur and friends may feel entitled to make decisions for you, assuming we're close, which justifies their overstepping those boundaries. Which is interesting because during the voice message, this individual said, "I know you well enough now." Well, clearly you don't, but let me not digress. There is also projection or unresolved issues, where friends who suddenly act controlling may be projecting their own anxieties or frustrations. For instance, if they're stressed about their life choices, they might try to manage yours to feel better, regaining some sense of control, but using you to do it. And the signs that these boundaries are being overstepped? They may give unsolicited and unwanted advice repeatedly, ignoring your preferences. They may try to guilt trip or press you into decisions. They may dismiss your feelings when you try to assert yourself. You start feeling drained or obligated around them. They may speak to you in a way assuming you have no real understanding or knowledge base. So here's what I've been reflecting on today. Just thoughts, not advice. First, it's so important to acknowledge how you're feeling about this. Shock, anger, disappointment, whatever it is, name it. Because let's keep it real, after 50, we're too seasoned and experienced to be gaslighting ourselves. Self-reflect. Ask yourself why their behaviour bothers you and why now. Have you been tolerating the boundary pusher due to guilt or codependency, or just not wanting to offend or upset? Remember, recognising your own needs is absolutely crucial. Look for the pattern, not just the moment. Where there's signs before this point. One odd message can be a blip, but boundary crossing? That's rarely random. A quote attributed to the wisdom of Maya Angelou still stands strong. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. And I'll add to that, believe them and adjust accordingly. Ask yourself whether this connection nourishes you or drains you. A friendship should be mutual. Not equal in every moment, but mutual in spirit. It's not supposed to be emotional drainage. Healthy friendships involve negotiation and mutual respect, not domination. Remember that boundaries are not rejection. Some people react to boundaries like you've slammed a door in their face, but boundaries are actually the thing that allows relationships to be healthy. Boundaries help relationships function on mutual respect rather than control or enmeshment. They reinforce a sense of self and personal values. Without boundaries, individuals can lose autonomy, often compromising their needs to please others. Give yourself permission to clean house emotionally, relationally, and energetically. After 50, cleaning house isn't optional, it's maintenance. It's about decluttering your life of people, habits, and patterns that harm your mental or emotional well-being, leaving room for healthier relationships and personal growth. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You don't need to keep every relationship in the same position it started in. People can get moved, shifted, downgraded, or simply released. And you can do that with love, primarily for yourself. So, what will I do about this situation? Well, for sure, I'll trust my gut, which has gotten sharper with age. I'll be completely honest though, I'm not sure how I'll respond any further. I'll have to sleep on it. If there is a conversation about this incident, I'll make it clear that my time, my family, and my choices are not up for evaluation. And depending on how that's received, Their seat in my life might be rearranged. Because here's the thing, not everyone is meant to be a close friend. Some people are companions. Some are social ships. Some friendships are seasonal. And some reveal themselves in moments like today. Ultimately, when someone cannot honour your boundaries, your priorities, or your joy, don't compromise and move in a way that honours yourself. So before I close, here are a few self-questions I'll be considering. And if you're in a similar situation, you can consider them too. Does this person celebrate me or subtly compete with me? Do they respect my boundaries or punish me for having them? Do they handle no like an adult or like a wounded ego? Do I feel lighter or heavier after interacting with them? If the answer leaves me or you feeling heavy, well, time to clean house. Thanks for spending this time with me on Voice After 50. Until the next episode, protect your peace, trust your instincts, and as always, keep your voice strong. Talk soon. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow the podcast so you never miss an update. Follow and join me over on Instagram at VoiceAfter50, where we can continue these conversations, share reflections, and support each other through all the twists and turns life after 50 brings.